Yeah, and the fights were just breaking out at the Coliseum. I bet you it's because people were pissed off. People were heated about the amount of fucking money they were paying for parking. $180. $180 to park at the Coliseum. Get the fuck out of here. Coming to you pre-tape from the Best Coast Show studios. This is the Best Coast Show. I'm your host, Albert Aguilera. That's my producer, Curtis Sage. Curtis, don't look at me.
Oh.
Don't look at me.
Don't
look at me.
How are we supposed to do
Don't look at me.
How are we supposed to do the show, Albert?
Without looking at me. You look at your camera, look down, look at your bobbleheads. Don't look at me.
That's good. It would be easy if we weren't doing a video show. I mean, on our podcast on iTunes, I could not look at you.
Side note, but we're still the #1 LA Kings video podcast.
Oh, we are. That's right. But this is not an LA Kings
show
not. Today. Today is a Dodgers-Rams combo show. We're getting down to the wire in one sport, and we're ramping up in the other one. The Dodgers are 85 and 66.
Are we ramming up in the other one?
Shut up, dude. Shut up.
Ram it.
I like it. Okay. Dodgers are 85 and 66. We're 5 games ahead of the Giants, which is awesome. Of course, the last game of the season is October 2nd. Fans, Vin Scully's last day. What are you doing that last day? Madison Bumgarner's an angry guy. We got to talk about him a little bit. The Rams won a lame game. That would suck to go to that game. And then when will Goff start playing? Not even starting. Just when's he going to play? Do we have any more bold predictions, or are we just going to expand on our bold predictions that we've been putting out there for the Rams? And then we have to have a random Ram. So let's get started, Albert.
All right, guys, just as Curtis said, this is going to be a Dodgers-Rams combo episode. We're in first place. The magic number is 7, but Curtis...
I hate magic numbers.
Yeah, you don't like that it's magic, right? Because it's not magic.
It's just math.
It's just math.
There's nothing magic about it. It's just mathematics. It's magic to people who do not understand math.
I think it's magic because it's a combination of wins and losses. So let's say the Dodgers were to lose today, but the Giants also lost today. That magic number gets a little more magical because it drops.
It always is bugged
right?
me. Okay, whatever.
But we're 5 games up, and it's currently set to 7.
Yes.
So,
are we going to win the division?
We are going to win the division.
We are going to win it. 4 straight.
4 straight. That's never since 1880 that this club has been alive. That's never happened.
You mean the Bridegrooms never won their division?
Not the Bridegrooms, not the Robins, not the Grays, not the Trolley Dodgers, not any of them.
I want a Trolley Dodgers hat. Do they have those?
I don't know what that looks like.
I'd like to get one of those.
I don't know.
A trolley on it.
It might be a trolley.
So we are going to win the division. It's pretty clear at this point now. Our bullpen has kept us in this thing, and our timely hitting, for the most part, has kept us in this thing. The Giants, we have a chance to knock the Giants out. Do we want the Giants out?
Yes and no. Here's because the Cardinals have now reached the Giants for that second wild card spot. But we have like this Cardinal kryptonite thing going on, right? But the Giants are good against the Cardinals.
Yes.
So in that one playoff game, maybe the Giants can knock out the Cardinals, and then we're not going to be the one with the best record. It's going to be the Nationals and the Giants. Are the Mets in that conversation now?
The Mets, the Cardinals, and the Cubs are all tied for the wild card.
No, not the Cubs. The Cubs already clinched.
I mean, the Mets, the Cardinals, and the Giants are all tied right now for the wild card. So it's between those 3 teams with 7 games.
Well, we're really good against the Giants, so I would prefer that the Giants take out the Cardinals for us because we can't beat the Cardinals for whatever reason. And then the Cubs would then take out the Giants for us in the opening round. We would end up playing the Nationals.
We play the Nationals in the first round.
Who I think could handle no problem.
Yes.
And then we would just utterly wreck the Cubs in the National League Championship Series because the Cubs are not allowed to win anything.
No. Okay.
And then we'll end up playing the Red Sox in the World Series.
Oh, you're predicting Red Sox?
Oh, yeah. It's Dodgers, Red Sox, and Dodgers are going to beat the Red Sox.
Okay, got it.
It's true. And then David Ortiz is going to be like, oh, no, Poppy lost. That's what he's going to be like.
Poppy lost.
Yeah.
Poppy's having a good final season.
Yeah, he is.
It's
Him and Hanley, they're roiding again.
Oh, is that what's going on?
I don't know, but Hanley's been on fire, that jerk.
So I want to know what fans are doing. We should do a poll. What are fans going to do on Vin Scully's last
Are you going to
day?
remember where you were?
Of course.
Where were you when Elvis died?
I was, I was 9. So I was what was I? I don't remember exactly.
I was not born yet.
I vaguely remember.
I remember where were you when Magic when Michael Jackson died?
Michael Jackson. I was at my house. And I remember when Magic got HIV, when they announced that, I was at Cal State Long Beach on the campus, and people were crying on campus.
So do you think people are going to be crying?
Yes.
On October 2nd.
I will be.
No, you know why they're not going to? Because they're not going to know. They're not going to remember because they can't watch the game. They're going to completely forget that it's even October 2nd.
Nationally televised game on the last game of the season.
Oh, is it really?
Nationally televised.
Is it going to be on ESPN?
MLB Network, national televised.
But what about people who don't get MLB Network or don't have it?
Well, then who cares about them?
Terrible.
They're not baseball fans.
Terrible.
Whatever. I mean, it's going to be nationally televised.
It should be on KCAL 9. It should be on KCAL 9.
It is too. It's
okay,
gonna be,
good.
It's
That way
nationally
Los Angelinos
televised,
can watch it.
and it's going to be on the final 6 Vin games.
Do you think they're going to let Vin do all 9 innings on the radio?
He's going to be on TV. I don't know about the radio.
Because he always does the entire television broadcast, but he never does the entire radio broadcast.
I would assume the final 3 games he'll do, at least the final game, he'll do the all.
Now, do you think, he's very selfless, so do you think the game's going to be over, he's going to say, okay, you have a good night, and shut it down like he shuts it down every day? Or is he going to give it like, thank you guys for the last 100 years of baseball?
Last 100 years. Vin always has the perfect thing to say. I don't know what that is. I remember when 9/11 happened. I mean, everybody was emotional, and when Vin came, when baseball came back in the first game back, Vin's speech after 9/11 was like had people crying. I think that he's so humble. He doesn't want to make this about himself. But in some way, he'll tell a good story to end it. I think there'll be some story it'll all come full circle. And like you said off camera, it is coming full circle because
he was a Giants fan.
Broadcasting a Giants-Dodgers.
October 2nd is going to be his last game. It's going to be in San Francisco. It's going to be against the Giants, and he started off as Giants fan, and he's going to close with the Giants.
Well, he's not ending as a Giants fan. He's just closing with the Giants. Yes, yeah. He's told that story many times where his first experiences with baseball as a young Giants fan in New York City. Not the same team that we hate now.
Right, because they were out in New York.
Yeah, so whatever. Anyways.
Now, you know what other Giants story Vin Scully likes to tell all the time that Madison Bumgarner comes and pitches?
What's that?
The story about how Madison Bumgarner once dated a woman named Madison Bumgarner.
See,
how weird is that?
It's so weird.
I mean, could you date a woman named Curtis Stage?
No.
That would be weird, right?
I don't actually think he dated anybody.
Could you date another person that has your same last name?
No.
Dave, let's ask Dave. Dave, would you date someone that has the same last name as you?
I have.
Oh,
what? Ooh, Dave.
Were you related?
No.
Okay.
No, just make
sure.
sure.
I think Madison Bumgarner may have been related to the person who had the same last name. I mean, how many Bumgarners are there? Really?
How many Madison Bumgarners are there?
Exactly.
Plus, he's from like the country, so.
I think it was his imaginary friend that he was dating. Who?
You think so?
Yes.
And he just has a really bad imagination, so he named his date Madison Bumgarner.
This is a guy who gave his wife a pig for her birthday.
Is her name Madison?
No, it is not.
No. What would your wife do to you if you gave her a pig?
She would definitely. I'd be sleeping outside with the pig, unless the pig sleeps inside. Maybe it's one of those cute little pigs,
Like a potbelly pig?
Yeah, maybe it's one of the little ones, the mini guys that are cute. There are the mini ones, right?
Right.
Yeah, maybe it's one of those.
Yeah.
I doubt it.
I don't know.
No,
Guys. Disclaimer here: do not give your wife, girlfriend, significant other a pig for their birthdays.
Well, but wait a minute. Hold on though. A lot of people think pigs are smarter than dogs.
Doesn't make it a
or
good
as
pet.
smart. I don't know. They could be.
That's just don't listen to Curtis. That is a bad idea. Just go with jewelry or a purse or shoes or something. No, stay away. And then plus, it's an animal. Don't give people animals because it's a responsibility you have to give them on top of that, and you got to feed it and stuff.
So let's just talk about Bumgarner for a second because
he's an angry guy. It's got to be so like how just exhausting does it have to be that angry all the time?
I know. You're angry.
I'm angry.
This guy makes you look super mellow and nice.
Right, because I'm from Los Angeles. We're more relaxed out here.
It's a good thing he does not live in L.A. And drive.
In traffic?
Could you imagine Bumgarner?
Don't look at me! Are you cutting me off? Don't look at me!
On the freeway saying, don't look at me.
Could you imagine him on the 405 or on Sunset trying to get to the stadium every day?
It would be insane.
Wow.
It would be insane. He has a real problem with the smallest little thing. Yes,
you mean with Latin players?
Well, with Latin
players, hashtag racist?
He might be. I don't want to say.
I will. Hashtag racist.
I don't know. I don't think he's racist. I just think he's different. It's a different culture that he comes from. He's a
white.
He's a farm boy.
We're awful.
I do not want to call
the best.
somebody. I don't like calling someone racist. I will say that all of his fights have been against Latino players.
That's why people say he's racist.
Beltre, Alex Guerrero, Puig last year with the bat flip incident.
Okay, here's what I want to see. We're still going to play them a few more times. I want to see Bumgarner, Chase Utley, ornery versus ornery. I want to see Chase Utley hit one over the fucking really stupid Coca-Cola sign that they have in left field.
And flip it.
And flip it, or just stare down Madison Bumgarner and see what he does.
So, yeah, that would be
Could you
hilarious.
imagine them just yelling at each other to get off each other's lawns?
Utley
They
is
would be the
not-
best neighbors.
They would be great neighbors. They'd have the best lawn in the neighborhood if
Right.
they were right next to each other. But Utley's not a chap ass like Madison Bumgarner. He's not an angry guy.
Right.
He's just focused and driven.
Right. Because he plays baseball the right way.
He plays baseball the right way. I don't want to say Bumgarner plays it the wrong way. He gets fired up, and we've beat his ass 5 straight times.
Six.
now. Six straight times. 6 times.
But he didn't take did he take that loss?
I don't
No,
know.
his bullpen took the loss.
Okay.
But yeah.
He pitched great.
The Dodgers have won 6 straight Clayton Kershaw starts against the Giants, while the Giants have lost 6 straight Bumgarner starts against the Dodgers.
It's amazing.
That's awesome.
We're the only team that has his number. I mean, really.
Kike, man. Kike owns him.
Yeah, Kike kind of owns him a little bit, but I mean, he didn't do anything against him in the last game. But let's talk about Puig. So what was great is the hashtag "Don't Look at Me" started trending.
Yes.
and that was fantastic. And then somebody delivered shirts. We don't know who it is yet. Delivered shirts to the Dodgers clubhouse yesterday. And
Hashtag don't look at me.
like within a day, these shirts were made, printed, and players were wearing them. And there was a great tweet where, some of the players, who were the players that had their...
It was De Leon, Puig, and Gonzalez.
Yeah, so they had
They
their,
all
like,
had their
hands-
mouths covered.
No, they had their eyes covered because it was "Don't look at me."
Oh, I thought they were doing the monkey.
They were doing
monkey
no, they had
see,
their,
no
they just
evil
had their
thing.
eyes covered, like I do with you most of the time.
Oh, yeah, you should. Don't
when
look
I
at
walk
me.
in the studio,
Don't
I
look
don't
at
look
me.
you. But so they had their eyes covered, but apparently Charlie Culberson, one of our bench guys. For those of you who don't follow Dodgers closely, Culberson never plays, but he's a good chemistry guy. He apparently is friends with Bumgarner because he grew up in the Giants organization. He delivered a shirt to Bumgarner.
That Puig signed.
And Puig signed it. And so apparently Bumgarner thought it was hilarious and started wearing it. So this is great.
Is this gonna be like the start of a bromance between Puig and Bumgarner, where they're rivals on the field, but they become like best
There's
friends?
like a show.
When they're I'd watch that reality show,
That'd be a good
Puig
show.
and Bumgarner.
I'd also watch a UFC cage fight who would win that fight between those two?
And neither one of them, because they're baseball players, so they don't know how to fight.
Okay,
They
there's
like
that.
they slap box like the way
I
basketball
don't
players
know.
do.
Yeah, they're not as bad as basketball players. I remember Shaq. I think Bumgarner, he could break like a log with his bare hands. Like, he doesn't
When
need
he's
an
chopping wood,
axe.
yeah, right.
He's chopping wood. If it's not, he just breaks it. But Puig was probably like wrestling alligators and shit in Cuba. So I think it's tight. I think that's a close
Then I would
one.
go with Puig because logs don't punch back.
Ooh.
See that?
Okay. So that's good. I think it might be a draw, in the UFC match. It's going to be, what would the score be in UFC? Judges score.
It's not going to be a main event because it
won't be a main
gimmick fight.
event, no, it won't
But
be a main
it would probably be a 29-28 for Puig.
So it'd go 3 rounds.
It would go all 3 rounds.
3 rounds.
Because none of them know how to fight, so
Yeah.
they're just going
So
to be
be
like holding
circling
each
around.
other, circling around, hugging each other against the fence.
holding.
It's going to be like really awkward, and it's going to be 29-28 Puig.
Yes. Let's talk a little bit about just quickly about some Dodgers things that have been going on. Andrew Tolles has been a super bench player.
Tolles, that when you need a hit, give that motherfucker a bat.
And the good thing is when he gets on base, the guy's fast, so he throws pitchers off.
Yep.
So that's great. He's a spark plug that we kind of need. So Tolles has been fantastic right now. Puig's been playing fairly decently since he's been called up. He's been pretty good, but he's in the platoon situation.
Right. Well, the entire outfield's in the platoon situation.
They are, and now we got Andre back, which
Right,
is
and then
great. But
like
Andre's-
last night, he goes into the stands, which is cool.
Yes, that
right,
was awesome.
because like he's playing
All
balls out and good for you. And then what's his face? Oh Jesus Christ, I keep forgetting his name. And I thought he played second base, but he really plays outfield, and he just had a kid.
Seguin?
Seguin.
Rob Seguin?
So then Seguin comes in, so they move Puig to another position. They move him across the field.
Seguin made that sliding catch.
Yeah,
too.
and it's kind of like, okay, so Van Slyke is still out, but then so is Thompson, who's still out.
Thompson and
but
Van
then
Slyke are done
Ethier's
for the
back,
season.
and it's like, okay, well, what are we doing here? We
We
need
got
to have
Tolles, we got Seguin, we got Puig.
when we go into the
got Reddick,
playoffs.
we got 6
need,
outfielders.
We do. When we go into the playoffs, we need the 3 that we know for a fact are going to start game 1.
Yes.
And we know for a fact are going to start in game 7.
but none of those guys can hit lefties that would be our starters.
None of us can hit lefties.
Reddick can't hit lefties.
Reddick can't hit at all.
No, he's been hitting better.
On the last week.
Okay. So Reddick can't hit lefties very well. We know Peterson can't hit lefties. And if you've got Howie Kendrick, he's decent against lefties. I think Howie Kendrick's your starting left fielder. We forgot about Kendrick. He's another outfielder. We need people that can hit lefties, and we don't have it. We're last in the National League against left-handed pitching. If we go up against the Nationals, though, they only have 5 lefties in there.
Only?
And Strasburg's out. Well, 5 out of 12 pitchers are lefties, and 4 of those are relievers, I believe. So
what about the Cubs?
Cubs have a lot of lefties. This is a problem.
Yes.
And the Giants would be an issue. Obviously, Bumgarner, he didn't give up a hit for, no runs for 8 innings.
7 innings.
7 innings. We couldn't do anything against him.
We still won though.
We did.
A win's a win's a win's a win.
Okay, so let's switch gears. Are we switching to the Rams now?
Yeah.
The Lambs? The Rams?
No, we're the Rams.
We're the Rams. Okay.
But I'm excited because we won a game. Our offense still sucks. All right, guys.
Against a division rival.
Against a division rival is really good. Guys, so the Rams so far are who we thought they'd be. A good defense, really bad offense. And it is what it is right now, but I'm not going to jump off anything at the moment because we're only 2 games in. We're last in every offensive category. We've not scored any touchdowns, whether it be rushing or passing. Not even defensively. Our defense is really good, but we don't have any pick sixes or fumble recoveries for a touchdown. We have 0 touchdowns. 0.
Yeah,
this many. That's this many.
Not good.
But yeah, let's.
Is it okay?
Let's
so
do something.
What's the problem? Is it the
offensive line? It's combination of the offense in general, right? So your offensive line can't push off the start. That's why Gurley's not getting any rushing yards. In 2 games, he has a combined 98 rushing yards. Yeah. So your bold prediction of him breaking the single season rushing record is looking kind of iffy right now.
Well, if he's your only offensive weapon,
we have no tight ends.
Keying on him.
No tight ends.
No tight ends. Yeah.
Okay. Case Keenum got sacked twice in the last game, but he got hurried 9 times. The offensive line needs to do something to protect the guy who's looking. He's got his head on a swivel. He's looking for wide receivers that are never open. He has no tight ends, and the play calling is atrocious. The play calling is short pass, hand off to Gurley, incomplete pass, punt. That's what our play calling is right now.
A punt is not a play call.
Sure it is. You can either go for it or you can punt. Okay. Or you can go for the field goal, which we had to, so. and we won 9-3. Oh, we won.
Defensively, we were amazing.
Defensively, we're doing great. I mean, the defensive line is awesome.
Yes.
The middle linebacker core is awesome.
Ogletree
caused the fumble.
Yeah.
And the secondary got beat a couple of times, but we broke Russell Wilson's 17-game passing touchdown streak. So the defense is there. I think against the 49ers, the defense was carrying the team to the point where they realized, fuck, our offense isn't going to help us. Whatever. You lose that game 28-0.
Now we play Tampa in Game 3.
The Bucs are not a very good team. I think that the Bucs are severely overrated for what they are. The Bucs have a terrible defense, and we have a terrible offense.
So who's going to win this one?
Right. So whoever's less bad is going to win this. Now, I think that the Rams could go into Tampa and win this game if they can clean up their act in terms of penalties. They had 10 penalties in their last game that for 115 yards, which was about half of their total offense.
And their penalties were at inopportune times.
Correct.
There was a couple where they were driving down the field and they get a penalty and it puts them back, and it's like, we were just kind of getting into Seahawks territory.
Now we're in field goal range as opposed to getting into the red zone.
Yeah, exactly.
And another thing that I feel that they need to do there is, okay, we have to run the ball against Tampa because they're not very good against that. At the same time, we're not very good at running the ball because our offensive line sucks.
Can't we do some sweeps? I mean, whatever happened to the sweep where just all the linemen just sweep out and let Gurley just kind of go behind them and just get 2 giant tight. If we're not going to pass to the tight ends, why are they not blocking?
The problem is that the defense knows what we're going to run because our quarterback has no receivers downfield.
Yeah.
And Todd Gurley is our number 1 offensive weapon, so they'll stack the box, and that's why he has 98 total yards in 2 games.
Yeah.
You know who our second leading rusher is?
Case Keenum?
Case Keenum, baby.
Yeah. What has he got, like 12?
I think he's got 15.
Okay. Yeah. Now, people are saying, well, look, we've got no touchdowns. Jared Goff should be starting quarterback. Why?
I don't buy that argument.
Why?
Because just because we have no touchdowns rushing or passing doesn't mean that that Goff coming in is going to suddenly give us touchdowns. I don't feel, and we've said this before, I don't feel that this kid needs to start just because we mortgage our future on him.
But we got Carson Wentz. He's starting for the, like, he had a great game, right? Against Dave. Carson Wentz had a great game, right? Yeah, against the Eagles. So we've got two good games.
The Eagles are 2-0.
The Eagles are, I don't think the Eagles are 2-0.
Are they 2-0?
They are 2-0? Okay. So the Eagles are 2-0 with Carson Wentz, who we could have selected. He apparently is NFL ready, according to the Eagles, and he's, why?
I think this comparison is going to happen for the first 3 to 5 years. Goff, Wentz. And I think people are so about it is because we mortgaged our future.
Is Jeff Fisher just so conservative that he just will not? He's kind of like the Byron Scott of the NFL, and that he's just not going to play the young guys.
He just likes the rushing attack. I mean, Todd Gurley's been in the league for now his second season.
Yeah. And
the only reason Todd Gurley didn't play 16 games last year is because he got hurt.
I mean, Fisher's never developed a quarterback. I mean, really, when he's Todd McNair was
a running quarterback,
and he got lucky there.
Steve McNair was a running quarterback.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think the idea of Goff playing for the sake of playing is dumb. If he's not ready, I don't need him losing all of his confidence. I don't need him getting eaten by the LA media. Really? I don't need him getting hurt.
Really? Last time I checked, Peyton Manning, his first year, won 3 games. And was terrible. Their team was horrendous, and he played every game, and they just went with it. They were like, "Let's go with this."
The difference was that the Colts had that pick. The Colts didn't mortgage their entire. The Colts didn't give up 3 first-round picks, 3 second-round picks, 3 third-round picks, and God knows what else.
But I mean,
because at this point, the Rams can't go into the trade deadline and say, "Hey, we need a left tackle that can protect our quarterback. What can we trade?" Well, nothing.
Case Keenum.
Nothing, because we have 2 offensive weapons in Todd Gurley and Goff, which they're not going to trade.
Yeah.
They're not going to give away anyone our defensive line, which is probably one of the best defensive lines in the NFL. Or they're not going to give up Ogletree. They're not going to give up.
Okay.
I mean,
I got it.
And they literally cannot trade away draft picks because they don't have them.
No. So look, and you know what's even more stinging is Sam Bradford has a great game against the Packers, and the Vikings win that game on Sunday night. You know, it's like, why?
A lot of it comes down to the supporting staff. Yeah. Goff doesn't have the supporting staff on the coaching side or the offensive side of the ball to be it.
Well, and also maybe, I guess, Goff, when he was at Cal, you know, they didn't run the same plays. They didn't have the complexity of the NFL offense. But
it's not even that. Goff was a spread quarterback.
Yeah. So
and look at Case Keenum. Case Keenum comes out of Houston. He is the most prolific passer in NCAA history.
Yeah.
Most passing yards, most completions, most touchdowns of any quarterback in the history of the NCAA, which is like 150 years old, right? And he's mediocre. He went undrafted. He's mediocre at best because he's playing a pro-style offense. Jeff Fisher needs to go, oh, my quarterback that we have on our team that I signed and this other one that I drafted, let me kind of tailor things to them a little bit.
So now we're getting to somewhere, because I think that the Rams offense is not tailored towards the quarterback that's playing right now and the quarterback that's the future. So there's this, and here's this talk of them
a 3-year extension,
extending Fisher. And maybe Fisher isn't calling all the plays. Maybe it's the offensive coordinator that we need to be talking about here. But certainly it comes down from the top. It's like, you know, maybe the offense needs to shift a little bit towards the strengths of these quarterbacks. I don't see it. I don't see them playing into the strengths of the quarterbacks that we have on this team. I mean, Case Keenum is not like he's just a pocket passer. He can get out. He can move a little bit. He can roll around.
Yeah, but he's also not Mariota. You're not going to ask him to fake the handoff to Gurley, tuck it in, and then run it for 20 yards.
That's true. But I mean, some of the plays that they're calling, and maybe it is also the personnel. They just don't have, like you said earlier, the tight ends and the receivers yet. You know, I mean, we've got Tavon Austin, who cannot catch a ball over his head. He barely can catch a ball.
He's a little guy. He's like 5'8".
Okay, don't mess with little guys.
I'm a little guy. I'm only 5'8". But you think I'm going to have any chance against a defensive back that's 6'3", 6'4"?
Exactly. So
no way.
All the balls have to be down low and towards the ground with him, and that severely limits what we got going.
And then inside the red zone, we don't have anyone where we're kind of like, okay, fade route.
Go into the back corner.
Yeah, exactly. We don't have that. We don't have tight ends. We don't have receivers that I don't even want to say elite level receivers. We don't have receivers that are 6'4", 6'5", 6'6" that can be counted on. Yeah. Plus, being our only offensive weapon, they with Todd Gurley, they stack the box. our offensive line is not pushing off the snap, so that's why he's only averaging 2.5 yards a carry.
You know what I'm excited about is in preseason, this Nelson Spruce receiver, he got hurt. At the last
You
game
got
of
excited
preseason.
that he got hurt?
No, I got excited about this kid. He was actually kind of like an Edelman type. He's kind of like a receiver that can go and he can really hold on to the ball, and he does these great routes. He's a smart player, kind of quick to spots, and he was doing really well in the preseason. Then he got hurt. We haven't seen him yet. Apparently, he's coming back on Sunday, and also Pharaoh Cooper, I think, is coming back on Sunday. So we're going to get a couple receivers back in the fold. Maybe they'll get some looks.
Pharaoh Cooper's the tight end that we drafted this year?
Yeah. So maybe we'll get some looks from some different people. Maybe that's what.
But is that going to change any of the offensive play calling? Because
we also need people that can hold balls.
Short pass, handoff to Gurley, incomplete pass, punt.
But some of those passes are being dropped.
Yes,
and that doesn't help anything. If it's 3rd and 6 and you're throwing a short pass.
I mean, Keenum was 22 for 35, I believe, with 6 drop passes.
Yeah,
the drop pass isn't his fault. If it touches your hands as a receiver, I expect you to catch it, bro.
Exactly. And 22 of 35 doesn't look good, but 28 or 29 of 35 looks really good.
Right. Okay, not every pass is going to be perfect. I don't expect every ball that's tapped to be caught. But when your receivers are dropping that many passes.
Here's the other thing, too, and maybe this is the real key to the Rams deal right now, is they're not throwing interceptions.
Oh, yeah, turnovers. 0 turnovers last week.
So that's good.
You always want to win the turnover battle. And how did the Seahawks lose? They were at the 20. And how did they lose? Turnover.
Exactly. So our bold predictions are looking fairly.
Mine are okay right now.
You said 10 wins?
I said 10 wins. Mathematically, we can still do it.
Mathematically, we could. The single season rushing record is probably not going to happen this year.
I mean, Todd Gurley's got a rush for like 500 yards against the Bucks this Sunday.
Which could happen. I don't think so. Who's our random Ram before we get to our gift?
All right, guys. Our random Ram, as you know, every week that we cover the Rams, we're going to be getting to know them as you guys get to know them because they're finally back in town. But this week, our random Ram is our current quarterback, Case Keenum. Case Keenum went to the University of Houston. He was out in Texas for high school. He was a 2-star recruit. He's born in 1988, sometime in February. I don't know exactly when his birthday is, but He's 28 years old, but in 1988, he went to the University of Houston, where in the NCAA, like I told you earlier, he's the most prolific passer in the history of college. Most touchdowns, most complete passes, most passing yards. He went undrafted. I mean, you own every major record, and you go undrafted, there's got to be something wrong with you.
Yeah,
I don't know. Maybe what's it called? The Wonderlic. Maybe he didn't do well on the Wonderlic exam. I don't know. Who cares? Anyways, so he doesn't go. He doesn't get drafted. He ends up getting signed by Houston as a free agent. Houston releases him. The Rams pick him up. The Rams let him go. Houston picks him up again. Houston lets him go. Comes back to the Rams, and now he's the starting quarterback of the Los Angeles Rams.
Yeah, there's some
hashtag Ram it.
Hashtag Ram it.
Hashtag Ram it.
That's our hashtag for today.
Ram it.
All right.
But yeah, that's our random Ram, Case Keenum.
Nice. All right, what's our gift of the day?
All right, guys, our gift of the day. You may recognize this guy. It's Madison Bumgarner being all and angry because that's how he is. He gets angry and upset over absolutely nothing because people are looking at him. Oh, next time people go to a game, they just don't look at him. Just cover your eyes. Everyone should show up with those things that you sleep with at night.
That would be awesome.
That would be awesome.
It's going to have to be next year because he's not going to pitch again at Dodger Stadium.
Well, it doesn't matter. We can go up to San Francisco.
Oh, that's true.
What's the name of those?
Pantone.
What's the name of those guys? Pantone 255, 294.
Yeah.
I don't know. If you guys know who they are, let us know. But we've seen them online. They
went to the Yankee Stadium.
Huge presence at Yankee Stadium.
That was awesome.
And then that's where Pui knocked the tooth out of the girl's face because that's what Pui does. He throws baseballs at fans and knocks their teeth out.
He tossed it up there, and she didn't see it, and it just hit her. Straight in the tooth.
He did it on purpose.
They met and hung out.
That's why he did it.
Yeah.
He's like, if I knock this girl's tooth out, maybe I can meet her after and be like, oh, I'm sorry, baby. How you doing?
That was his game plan.
That's his game plan.
Hey, let's talk about our vlog.
That's right, guys. So we're adding a new segment to the Best Coast family. We're vlogging. Last week we went to San Francisco, so we're adding that vlog area to our YouTube page. And Best Coast is also going to go to London. We'll be in London October.
Well, you are.
Well, you can't go because your wife won't let you.
Well, I have to work.
But I will be in London October 18th to the 26th. I'll be vlogging the trip, and I'm going to go see my very first ever NFL football game in London. You know who's going to be playing?
Rams.
The Rams.
Ram it.
And I'm going to be a really obnoxious American, and I'm just going to be like walking around planting little American flags everywhere I go.
Nice.
It's going to be awesome. All right, guys, but that's been our show. Don't forget to stalk us on Twitter at Best Coast Show. You can find all the BTS stuff on the Instagram as well. You can find our podcast on iTunes, SoundCloud, and really anywhere that podcasts are heard. So that's been our show, and you guys have a good night.